Read, your source for news, politics, sports, and all things trending. Here's your host, Marcus Gentry.
The disappointment of many, I stand with Shannon Sharpe. And I stand with Shannon Sharpe, Art, for one reason and one reason only. And that is because what he did in having a relationship with a 19-year-old snow bunny is not illegal. And so dealing with the American court system, morals has no place in it. Morals have no place in American law. If it did, we would have never been enslaved. So in a court of law, it's about whether you broke the law. It's not about whether what you did was right or wrong. Whether or not I believe that the white power structure involved itself in this lawsuit. People are asking whether or not I believe the elites of the world put themselves or had some influence on this case. And I believe they did, Art. I'm going to tell you why. Gabriella allegedly told Shannon, let's back up. She sent Shannon a text, Art, and she said, I need $10,000. She sends Shannon a PayPal link for $10,000. Uncle Shay Shay says, I don't hit the Cash App. I got 10 grand for you when I see you. Gabriella says, I need it now. I'm broke. Uncle Shay Shay said, I'm not sending you no money electronically. 10K when I see you. So guess what she does, Art? Gabriella tells Shannon, take a picture of the 10,000 and text it to me. Guess what she was doing, Art? When she asked Shannon Sharpe to send her a picture of the $10,000, she was setting him up right then. She was setting him up with the 10K. What do I mean, Art? Prostitution is illegal in Clark County, Nevada. Prostitution is illegal.
Welcome to the Daily Read, and I am your host, Marcus Gentry. Now, today we're going to talk about the whole Shannon Sharpe situation. Also, Puffy trial has started, and there has been a lot of things that has gone on in the trial. I might do a show about the trial, but I'm not really interested. And the reason I'm not interested is because we have our own paths. And I've spoke about Puffy, him, the R. Kelly, Bill Cosby situation. I've spoke about these men on several occasions to try to explain to you the pattern. Uncle Shay or Shannon Sharpe is the is one of the newest people to be caught up in this. This is a plot. There's nothing new about this. It's a repeatable pattern, and it keeps being repeated every generation. I will say one thing about Puffy Combs, Sean Combs. A pimp told me about 20 years ago, his name was Mac Buki, out of Memphis. He told me, never pimp a man or a boy, because eventually they're going to stick their ass up at you and want you to fuck them. And what he meant by that is, to a prostitute, a female prostitute, no matter how many men she has sex with, she still considers you her man. Male prostitutes are the same way. And it is true that there's a saying in pimping that you don't keep your dick in these women, but you still will have sex with these women sometimes. And it's the same is true for the men. I've often talked about how Puffy came from the generation I came from, where we had orgy parties. We had sleepovers with multiple women. None of it was rape. None of it was forced. Some of these women are 40, 50-year-old grandmothers now. But when they was in their 20s, they were freak hoes. And Puffy trying to get in good with the LA crowd, which is a lot of gay men and gay women, he started introducing homosexuals in his parties, which is where he fucked up. He also started introducing drugs, because another pimp told me, never pimp a woman that's heavy on drugs. If she smoke a little weed, drink every now and then, that's cool. But he started introducing drugs. The homosexual stuff and the drugs, that's a no-no when it comes to pimping. Because you want to make sure that these women are clear of mind. They have decision-making skills to say, I want to suck this penis. I want to fuck this man for money. You don't want them to be out of brain on drugs, and you don't want no homosexuals around you. Puffy violated 2 of those rules, which is why whatever comes to him, man, God bless you, brother. You know, but I'm the first to say that these women are not victims. The only victims out of all of this are the women that were underage. That's it. All of these grown-ass singers, grown-ass rappers, grown-ass hot girls, IG models, they are not victims. Because you got to look at the pattern. And you know, I like to talk about the pattern because there's a pattern in all things in life if you just sit back and analyze it. And I tell people all the time, when these women were 19, 20, 21, 22, and they were pretty enough to hang with the stars, they took full advantage of that and loved it. They was around the yachts. They was around the Lamborghinis. But a funny thing happens to these whores when they turn 35, 40 and become mothers and grandmothers. Nobody's checking for them no more. Nobody trying to wife you up because everybody know you done had 20 dicks in your mouth. And this is something I want to say to you women. Men understand that you done had sex with other men before, but they didn't see it. So when they meet you and date you, it's almost like you got a clean slate. But when you a whore in front of hundreds of millionaires and billionaires, and everybody know you for giving fellatio to multiple men, nobody's checking for you. Nobody's trying to wife you up. So a funny thing happens when these women turn 35 or 40, they go looking for that golden parachute. Let me explain to you what that golden parachute is from the people on iHeartRadio. Let me explain to you what that golden parachute is. They try to find them a victim and try to claim that the victim made them a victim. Understand what I just said, people. When they get about 35 or 40 and they sitting in their apartment and one of their homegirls call them and say, you know, Puffy having a party. Damn, he never called me because ain't nobody checking for you no more. You burnt out. Nobody's checking for you anymore. So the next party goes by in Miami. The first party was in LA. Nobody called you. The second party you hear about is in Miami. And they got this new 19-year-old. She sings, she dances, she models. She was the premiere at that party. She had your spot. Now you pissed off. You got to understand how this game is being played. So these women, they turn around and try to find them a victim. They try to find one of these young NBA players to get them pregnant. 19-year-old with $25 million contract, or an old ass man who's a retired football player looking at a $100 million contract. and they try to get these men. You got to understand, this country, America, has turned into a whore nation. The only people that's getting along well in this country are millionaire tricks and whores. That's it. The people in the middle are suffering. The men in the middle are suffering. Let me tell you why. And I want some of you to close your eyes and just picture what I'm about to tell you, because this is some serious stuff. We're going to talk about the Shay Shay incident because I don't really mess with Dr. Umar like that, but he said some things that I agree with. We're going to get to him in just a second. But there's a period in these women's whore lives that they fall through the cracks. The pimp or the millionaire that's been paying her bills, he slaps her or he gives her problems, so she leaves him. She goes and finds some poor construction worker, be with him for a year or two, but the whole time she's trying to figure out a way to get back into the it crowd. So when she finds that way to get back to the it crowd, she ghosts this guy. Then she gets back with the it crowd for 2 or 3 years, 4 or 5 years. They get tired of her. They started cursing her out because she's on drugs. She's high. You know, she's sleeping with all the friends, all the millionaire friends. They get rid of her again. She either goes back to that dude who's a construction worker or a bus driver. She might even marry him this time. But the marriage ain't serious. Marriage might last 2 years, a year. Then she divorce him. She might have a baby by him. She got a for sure check coming from child support. So the guy, the middle class guy, he gets upset. Sometimes he attacks the woman. Sometimes he doesn't. Sometimes he kills himself. Sometimes he doesn't. Sometimes he slinks away, disgusted. Sometimes he becomes a passport bro. This is what's going on in America when it comes down to men and women. Our women have turned themselves into modern day whores, and the only men that's prospering with these women are thousandaires, millionaires, and billionaires. Anybody else that falls up under that, they consider you a dusty. You gotta understand that there is a class of people under middle class. They're called poor. When you got that poor guy with no car, no college education, working at McDonald's, then you got the guy with a college degree, he works at the bus station downtown, or he's a construction worker, or he's a bricklayer, and then you got the wealthy guys, the CEOs. You got different layers. So what happens is these women are looking at men who are bus drivers and construction workers as their poor dusties. If you don't make over this amount, some of these women are looking at you like you ain't even a man. And it's destroying this country. It's destroying it. I seen a video the other day about a woman saying, why don't men approach him anymore? I don't want to waste my time. I don't want to get a black pill. I don't want to spend 2 years with you wasting my resources on kids that's not mine, only for you to turn around after the it crowd takes you back and drop me like a bad habit. I done wasted 2 years of resources. Men have woken up. We ain't fucking with you. We're not fucking with you. I almost got caught up like that here recently. I found out about this chick fucking out of both drawers legs. I went to her, told her I can't do it. I like you, but shit, we gotta go our separate ways. I had people attacking me left and right like I did something wrong. It was unbelievable. Unbelievable. You can't force me to chase after no hoe. You can't force me to respect a whore. And that's what this country has boiled itself down to. And talk about morals. They push their morals on poor people and middle class people. But the wealthy, they don't care about no damn morals. People been knowing Puffy, Shannon Sharp, all these other men have been doing this for decades, but they didn't care. Why is it that they push morals on poor people? Why? I'm gonna tell you why. Because it's more poor people than rich people. It's more middle class people than rich people. And you gotta push morals on these people. Because if you don't, they're gonna hit you across your head and take what you got. That's why when I hear some rich person, whether it's a woman or a man, talking about morals, I laugh. Because I'm knowing that this rich person knows another rich person who has orgy parties, sleeps around on his wife, shits on poor people. They know these people and hang with them all the time, laughing and giggling, going out to brunch with them. You can't preach to me about morals when I know what you're doing. That's why I agree with what Dr. Umar said. We finna get to it right now.
The Daily Read, your source for news, politics, sports, and all things trending. Here's your host, Marcus Gentry.
The disappointment of many, I stand with Shannon Sharp. And I stand with Shannon Sharp for one reason and one reason only. And that is because what he did in having a relationship with a 19-year-old snow bunny is not illegal. And so dealing with the American court system, morals has no place in it. Morals have no...
I'm gonna stop there right there. This is the first part that I agree with Dr. Umar. And I usually don't fuck with him like that. I agree with him because he touches on it. He don't go deep enough. Morals don't have no place in a court. Let me explain to you what I mean by that. You got a female who wants to be a pastor. None of the deacons in her church like her because they feel like even though she knows the Bible, she shouldn't be a pastor. So what they do is the male pastor sends one of his deacons to her house. Follow along with me now. The man stands outside her house in her bushes. Okay? Peeks in her window. She goes in her house, locks her doors, takes out a big dildo from under her pillow, takes a shower, gets in bed, watches porn while playing with her dildo. Listen carefully now. The deacon calls the pastor and says, I saw that woman once who wants to be a pastor. I was looking through her window and she's fornicating with a dildo and watching porn. This is what I mean when I say morality is only given to poor people and people with no influence. That deacon broke the law. You're not supposed to be peeking in people's window. But when he reports back to the pastors and the other deacons that he saw her watching porn, they don't care about the fact that you peeked in somebody's window. That's against the law. You're a peeping Tom. That's not your business what she does in her home. So now they persecute her for watching porn and playing with a dildo. Again, nobody says anything about that man standing outside her window, peeking in her window. He's a fucking peeping Tom. He broke the law. I'm hoping y'all understand what I'm saying. They push morality on poor people, people they don't like, people who they're jealous of, people who have no power. They don't do that shit to other people that got money and wealth because they don't care. Let's continue on.
Place in American law. If it did, we would have never been enslaved. So in a court of law, it's about whether you broke the law. It's not about whether what you did was right or wrong. Whether or not I believe that the white power structure involved itself in this lawsuit. People are asking whether or not I believe the elites of the world put themselves or had some influence on this case, and I believe they did, Art. I'm going to tell you why. Gabriella allegedly told Shannon, let's back up. She sent Shannon a text, Art, and she said, I need $10,000. She sends Shannon a PayPal link for $10,000. Uncle Shay Shay says, I don't hit the cash app. I got 10 grand for you when I see you. Gabriella says, I need it now. I'm broke. Uncle Shay Shay said, I'm not sending you no money electronically. 10K when I see you. So guess what she does, Art? Gabriella tells Shannon, take a picture of the 10,000 and text it to me. Guess what she was doing, Art? When she asked Shannon Sharp to send her a picture of the $10,000, she was setting him up right then. She was setting him up with the 10K. What do I mean, Art? Prostitution is illegal in Clark County, Nevada. Prostitution is illegal in most states. So, the reason she wanted Shannon Sharp to send her a picture of the money so she could have him arrested for solicitation of prostitution. She plays dirty, brother. She plays dirty. She was lining up her ducks already when she said, send me what black man you know are going to send a 19-year-old OnlyFans snow bunny a picture of $10,000. You know what that looks like? It looks like I'm paying you for sex. That's prostitution. Puffy is being accused of that. R. Kelly was convicted of that. And the other thing she tried to get him on, Art, is the Mann Act. The Mann Act is a federal law that makes it illegal to transport women across state lines for purposes of sex. When Shannon Sharp relocated to Las Vegas from Los Angeles, she followed him. When Shannon Sharp relocated from California to Nevada, she followed him. If she could show that she was paid to cross state lines to have sex with this ex-NFL superstar, he could be accused of breaking federal law.
See, I'm going to stop that right there. This is another part I agree with Dr. Umar. All of this is a setup. Remember what I just said. It's a pattern to this stuff. And I'm big on patterns on my show. I try to show you the pattern so you can open your eyes and see what's going on. There are people behind this. And they're not necessarily behind this because of morals. They're liars. It's not about morals. Don't get it twisted. They couldn't give a damn about that white girl sucking somebody's penis for $10,000. They don't care nothing about that. They probably got whores themselves. It all started with that Cat Williams video. Cat Williams got on that man's show and exposed a lot of people's immorality. It's not about morals. Shannon Sharp was a target. They can't fuck with Cat Williams. The reason why, because Cat Williams makes his own money. He's not beholden to nobody. But they can fuck with Shay Shay. Cat Williams gonna be blackballed for the rest of his life. He don't care. He's getting his money. But they can fuck with Shannon Sharp. You gotta understand how this is being played. You done exposed all of these multimillionaires and billionaires, and now they finna turn around and give you $100,000? I don't think so. They finna stop that. I had a bitch ass man tell me on the internet that they would never let me have nothing. I almost laughed at him. It was creepy, but at the same time it was funny when he said it, because of the incident I got into it with about 2 years ago. It was a cabal of people in Nashville. They got a little influence and power because they're part of the order. Some of the females are part of the female order. You know, they got a little influence. So they got on the internet, told me they never gonna let me have nothing. I almost laughed. You can't stop what I got going on at all, because I'm not beholden to nobody. I do my show on my own time and my own dime. I'm not funded by nobody. So you can't influence somebody to stop it. I make my own money, whether it's in truck driving or the internet, so you can't stop that. The only way you can stop me is illegally. That's it. That's the only way you can stop me. And that's the situation that Cat Williams is in. The only way you can do something to Cat Williams is illegally. Harass him illegally, shoot at him, kill him. All of that's illegal. But when you beholden to these people because they pay your check, they can stop you, like they're stopping Shannon Sharp right now. Let's continue on.
The Mann Act art was created in 1910. And guess why the federal government created the Mann Act? To try to incarcerate the first black heavyweight champion, Jack Johnson. Remember, Jack Johnson was our first popular snow bunny hopper, right? He was the first black man who openly...
Jack Johnson, I read the documentary on Jack Johnson. Jack Johnson loved white women. Loved white women. Every time you saw him in a black and white video, he was with two white girls.
Even before it was acceptable, openly ran around the world with white girls. That if you offer a 19-year-old OnlyFans model who sells videos of her body for cash apps on the regular, she sells videos and pictures of her body on the internet for cash apps, and she gets offered $10 million to walk away when she only asks for 50 grand. Think about this, Art. She only asks for 50 grand. Shannon Sharp says, I'm going to give you $10 million to walk away. And she says no. Art, do you know of anybody on OnlyFans, do you know of any 19-year-old teenager who, if offered $10 million to shut up and go away, when they only wanted 50 grand, do you know of any 19-year-old girl who is not going to take the $10 million?
I'm going to stop this again. This is another reason I get with what Umar's saying. Somebody is behind this woman, pushing her. This is not her doing. This woman was satisfied with being a common whore until the powers that be, whoever they might be, they could be black people after Shannon Sharp. It could be white people after Shannon Sharp. You don't know. But it is somebody pushing this narrative. Just like the Puffy situation. Let me talk about that briefly. Let me talk about the whole Puffy situation briefly, because you need to understand this about him too. This probably gonna be the last show I even mention Puffy, because unless something crazy happened in court. But Puffy problem is we all was involved in the orgy party scene in the 90s. Okay? A lot of these women aged out. Like when you see Mary J. Blige right now, back in the 90s, man, shit, I'll pay some money to mess with that. But now she look like an old tired hoe. Seriously. Don't care about who say what about me. I'm speaking facts. She looks like an old tired ass hoe. Ain't nobody trying to wipe that up. Period. When these women hit that wall, it's real. They go looking for victims, trying to claim that they victims, because ain't nobody checking for you. We know you done been bent over in somebody's studio and 4 or 5 guys smashed you. We know this. We don't care about you being a grandmother and a mother. We don't care nothing about that. We know what you was. Just like me. I might have changed my life, but I used to be a gang member. I'm not denying that. I used to be a gang member. I used to just look at you from the opposite end, and I might punch you in your mouth. All of that shit, now that I'm older, is senseless. But I'm not going around looking for no damn victim. If you're an old, tired, retired hoe, find some place to sit your ass down and retire and maybe disappear. Go to Wyoming somewhere. Find you a nice little white husband that don't know nothing about rap or hip hop and sit your ass down somewhere. He ain't got to know nothing about your past. That's like me. I'm a retired gang member. When I disappear and I go to the Bahamas or I go to overseas, I'm not going to be telling nobody, man, yeah, I'm a retired gang member. No, I'm not doing that. I know my past, but I'm not looking for nobody to make them no victim. You got to understand how this is being played with these women. Nobody's checking for these women at all. They want something younger, tender, and obedient. Because a funny thing happens with these old whores. They get used to the men that's paying for their pussy. So they get unruly. They get the feeling like they the queen shit around here. I run this mansion. No, you don't run this mansion. This the place you've been having sex in for the last 5 years. Multiple men have had sex with you in this mansion, but you don't run this mansion. Get your old ass up out of here. And they get mad. These old whores get mad. And they try to turn these millionaires into victims, claiming that they victims. This is what's going on.
Probably chicken chin meal.
Thank you. You on OnlyFans. You making money by selling your body, so you clearly not doing too well in these streets. You get offered $10 million and you turn it down. I believe the NFL power structure, or maybe the white media power structure, or maybe the white podcast power structure. Somebody was jealous of Shannon Sharp's upcoming $100 million contract.
We've been gone a long time.
I'm gonna put a pause on that real quick because we finna get into a movie review. I recently watched the movie Sinners. So far, 2025, it's the best movie I've seen. It's a mostly black cast. It falls on the line of From Dusk Till Dawn. If you ever seen From Dusk Till Dawn with Quentin Tarantino, it falls on that line where the first half of the movie is the setup, and then it gives you a twist with vampires in it. It's good. It has a lot of symbolism in it. It dives deep into how things were with black people in the 50s, the 40s. A lot of us, when we were black back then, went to war and came back home to hatred. America had us fighting for them overseas, but when we came home, we had to fight the American culture. And it has clans in it, it has vampires in it. Like I said, it's a lot of symbolism in this movie. I think you should go watch it, and I'm going to speak on it a little bit more.
We cousins.
There are legends of people with the gift of making music so true it can conjure spirits from the past and the future. This gift can bring fame and fortune.
Well, somebody take me.
But it also can pierce the veil between life and death.
We've been gone a long time. We back now. You twins?
Movie Sinners. It's a good movie, people. You need to check it out. It's where Michael B. Jordan plays twins. He plays both parts. Smoke and Stack. This will be a little spoilers in it. I think Smoke is the one with the white girl, and Stack is the one with the voodoo queen, the girl who does the voodoo. I never really looked at her in a sexual light or being sexy, but if you ever seen the TV show Loki, the big girl who's the security guard in Loki, she's the one playing the voodoo princess who's with Stack. And for some reason, man, she kind of sexy to me now. When I seen her in this movie, she's on the bigger side. She ain't no little girl. She's a bigger girl, but when he bent her ass over that table, man, she was licking on his ear. She's sexy. But I say that to say this about this movie. And like I said, it's gonna be some spoilers in this. These men come back from the war, go to Chicago, become gangsters under Al Capone and the Chicago outfit. Now you got to understand, some of this stuff is historical, because a lot of black men served under the Italian mob, but not in the capacity you think. These men were enforcers in the black neighborhoods, kind of like gatekeepers. Okay, Bumpy Johnson, prime example. Everybody thought Bumpy Johnson was the king of New York when it comes to the black mob and the black people and stuff like this. What he was a gatekeeper. He did the dirt for the Italian and the Jewish mob in the black communities, because the whites didn't want to get their hands dirty with black people. So they sent guys like Smoke and Stack in the black neighborhoods. If they had a say the numbers racket, say it was a black person doing numbers is betting on things in the black community, and it was getting too much money, they would call up people like Smoke and Stack to go, extort them for the Italian mob, because the Italians couldn't go into black neighborhoods without getting beat up or shot at. So they would send guys like these two inside of those neighborhoods. All of this stuff is like it's got historical nature to it. But it's good because they had a little vampire twist to it. Now let's get to the music. I'm almost 50 years old, and still to this day, I love certain things about music. I love hip hop. I don't do jazz too much. I love blues. I still like disco. Sometimes when I hear an old Donna Summers song, I'll stop and listen to it. I love music. I love rock and roll. Music is the gateway to the soul. And I always keep up with the latest. And not about the lyrics. You got to understand, music for me and my family, it's not all about the lyrics. You can have some garbage lyrics. You could be talking about rainbows and buttercups. I don't care about that. If the beat catches my ear and I can tap my foot to it and I can bob my head to it, I'ma listen to it. Music always was about the band. Music was always about the DJs. Hip hop came from the DJs. The MC, the rapper, came later. The MC was the guy that gets in front of the DJ and say, hey, ho, he got the crowd hype. But it was the DJ who kept the crowd dancing. You got to understand this about music. It was never about the rappers. But what happened over time, the DJs and the band faded into the background. And now it's about the person standing in front of the DJ, in front of the band. It's about the singer now. It's about the rapper now. It was never really about them people. It was always about the band. It was always about the DJ who could mix the best record, who could take a song and mix it with another song and make a totally entirely different song. It was always about them. But our culture has pushed the rapper in front. Now it's all about the rappers. And to this day, I still don't care about the rapper. You can be 6'9". Everybody hates 6'9", right? Because of all the controversy, the snitching, and the going to prison. Everybody hates 6'9". If 6ix9ine came out with a song right now that I can tap my foot to, I'm gonna listen to him. Why? Because I love music. And if I hear your music coming out the speakers and it's got a bang to it, it's got a nice snap to it, nice drums, nice guitar, I don't care if you Linkin Park. I don't care if you what's my guy? I don't care if you Metallica. I love that song Freebirds. A lot of black people don't understand Freebird. That's a classic. Whenever I hear that song, my foot hits, when I'm driving in my truck, my foot hit that pedal and the beat takes over. Next thing I know, I'm doing 65, 70 on the highway. Not because of what he's saying in his lyrics, but because of the band. And the music is a big part of this movie, because the music, they trying to explain to you how the music is a gateway to life and death, past and the future. And the vampires, when they drink your blood, they take your history and blend it with their own. This is how vampires learn. And the voodoo queen told him if she gets bit, don't let her turn into a vampire, because she didn't want the vampires learning about African history. Because these vampires came from, I think, Ireland, came to America, moved to the South, and started trying to take over. So she didn't want the ancestors' history to be blended in with these vampires. One of the brothers get bit by the white girl that he was fucking with. She got turned, so she turned one of the brothers. And the cousin of these two, he escaped and became a great blues singer. I like how they did that, how he became a great blues singer later on in life. But it all started here with the big fight between them and the vampires. So it's a good movie. You guys need to go check it out. You will love it. You will love it. The movie Sinners. Now let's get back to the show. Let's get back to the show.
Read, your source for news, politics.
With Shannon Sharp. And I stand with Shannon Sharp for one reason and one reason only. And that is because what he did in having a relationship with a 19-year-old snow bunny is not illegal.
Now, I want to get back to this. In the midst of the P. Diddy trial, in the midst of all of this stuff going on with these people, especially Puffy, my feelings on that, and this, like I said, this is going to be the last show I probably mention Puffy, unless something crazy happened in court. But a lot of this stuff is what you call the changing of the guard. Let me explain that one last time to you so you can understand the pattern when I say the changing of the guard. Puffy been living an immoral life for 30 years. Okay? He's been involved in shootings. He's been involved in orgy parties, maybe gay or not, I don't know. He's been involved in drugs. So has a lot of these rappers, a lot of these entertainers. Okay? They've been living immoral lives. But the reason why so many people call them gatekeepers is because they put up a front to you about you being moral, you having morals. That's what these people do. The whole time they don't have morals. They don't care about morals. The Oprah Winfrey's of the world, the Steve Harveys, you know, they don't care about no damn morals. They will put on that front to you because you're poor or you're middle class. And the reason why is the same way they try to push religion on people. Religion and morals keep poor people from acting out. Understand this. Religion and morals keep poor people and middle class people from wanting more. As long as you got their religion and their morals, you're not going to want what they got. Because your morals that they push on you is going to tell you not to take it, not to go for it. I'm hoping the people in radio land is understanding what I'm saying. It's a changing of the guard. Somebody somewhere told Puffy to step down. You've been doing this for 30 years. It's time for some fresh blood. Just like those whores you had in the 90s, they old whores now. It's time for some new fresh blood. So we abandoned them old whores and we got some new fresh 19. Them old whores are 30 or 40 or 50 years old. We done got rid of them. So now we done brought in a young Miami. We done brought in, you know, all of these younger girls. So now we got to change you out too. You got to go. You don't think that there's a mansion somewhere in LA or Miami that's not having an orgy party right now? You're crazy. Somewhere in America right now, there's a group of rich men. They got a bunch of fresh 19, 20, 21 year olds with fat asses, sucking plenty of dick, fucking plenty of men right now, as we speak. And ain't nobody caring about no morals. Ain't nobody caring about no prostitution or none of that shit. They done went in there, snorted a line of cocaine. They done got hard. They done went in there and had sex with multiple women and then kicked them out. Told them, come back next week. We're going to have another party next week. It's a changing of the guard. And Puffy didn't want to step down. It's over with. You've been doing this 30 years. And the new fresh dudes that's coming in, you don't know who they are right now because they haven't completely gotten rid of Puffy yet. You don't know who these guys are now. Their names are gonna pop up eventually. You know. They done got rid of Baby. They ain't got rid of Jay Prince yet, because I heard he got a lot of whores down there in Texas. But he's next. They done got rid of all of these guys because they gotta switch out. The powers that be gotta switch out. We gotta bring new gatekeepers in. Y'all old gatekeepers are too flamboyant. Y'all been doing it too long. We gotta get y'all out the way. Shannon Sharp is the latest victim of this. You 50-something years old. You done had your time. You should have got your passport, Shannon Sharp, and you should have took your ass to Brazil. They looking at Shannon Sharp like, dude, we're not finna let you get no 100 million. We finna bring some fresh blood in here. That's why they got this other NFL player with the hat. I can't think of his name right now, but he has a podcast. That guy's living an immoral life, but he's younger, fresher, obedient. Shannon Sharp ain't obedient. He's too old to be obedient, like me. can't fall up under nobody. I'm too old for that. You're not finna sun me. That's what New York guys and New Jersey guys call sunning you. You can't sun me. I'm too old. Even if you're the leader of the pack. I'm not finna do what you say. Fuck you. I'm 50 years old. And the powers that be don't like that. So they try to get rid of you. I hope you guys learned something from today. This is the Daily Read, and I'm out.
The business, motherfucker.
The Daily Read.
Business.